My name is Emily Quarles-Mowrer, and I'd like to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Pottstown. Thank you guys for coming here this morning because it is gorgeous out there, and I know that it must be one of those things like we really want to come and be indoors on such a beautiful day. So we're so grateful that you decided to spend the day with us. So welcome to all those who are joining us here in the sanctuary. Welcome to all of us, those who are with us live on Zoom, and welcome to those who are visiting our service sometime in the ether in time on YouTube. This morning we have music played by the lovely Carly Shell. Thank you so much. And I'd like to send a shout out to Justine for being our technology lead. Thank you. For over 50 years, UUFP has been a liberal religious voice in the Pottstown area. As UUs, we believe that we can have facts and we can trust the science, but we can still have faith that there are mysteries and wonders out there. We believe that we can honor the wisdom of the past and explore into the future. And we believe that we honor the past by learning from it rather than repeating it. But most importantly, we believe that everyone belongs inside the circle with us. Everyone is inside that circle with us. So we hope that your spirit and your heart and your mind are refreshed as we once again think about our 7 guiding principles. We come together on Sunday morning, not because we share a creed, but because we share a promise. We promise to make a community and to support one another, no matter where we are on our path. So our services are different every week, but the loving kindness we find is always the same. Whoever you are, wherever you are in space and time, whomever you love, wherever you're from, we are so glad you chose to be with us today. Okay, so now we have time for announcements. If anyone has an announcement, please come on up to the front, use the microphone, and don't forget to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Linda. 2 things. First of which, Megan, who is our RE teacher, is taking a well-deserved vacation and will not be here next Sunday. So I just need everybody to know that has little ones, that they either need to be free range or maybe not help or reduce with help, whatever you feel is the right answer for that situation. The second thing is to let everybody know that our renters, the people who rent our place during the week, New Earth Traditions, who through the school year, September through May, they're homeschoolers, and this gives them, they use our space on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And if you've ever seen the one room back there, they totally redecorated it. It's absolutely beautiful. They will be expanding next year. They will be including a nursery age. So they are going to rent our nursery that I know we use. But God bless them. They are going to repaint it. They've spackled, they're going to repaint it, they're going to redecorate it. All in conjunction, I've got Valerie, who's head of the Children and Youth RE Committee. Megan, who is our RE teacher, are involved in terms of how it's going to be redecorated. Make sure it's in alignment in conjunction with us as Unitarian Universalists. The other thing is they have donated a lot of things. The swing set they gave us, the slack line, they have cleared out our trails. They also are willing to donate. If you looked in our social hall, there's a new couch, kind of like a sectional that they put there. If we want that, we used to have the sofa that's in the little storage area right now. If you like that, then we will take that and adopt that for us. If not, we'll just tell them and they'll donate it somewhere else. So anyway, just wanted to make you all aware of that.
Morning, everybody. I'm Clifford, and yesterday I did a cooking demonstration on fresh pasta that was hugely successful. We raised, I think, $350 for the church, and everyone had a really great time, including me. It was really a joy to pass on all this information. There were a couple of teenagers there that it was really great to see them interested in cooking, and these are skills that will take them maybe the rest of their lives. The next demo I'll do in 2 or 3 months will be on desserts. It'll be cream puffs, and I'll demonstrate how to do the custard filling as well as taking part of the dough and making a savory cheese puff with that dough as well besides sweet. So it'll be the same dough but done 2 different ways. Thank you.
I'm Lori. As one way of caring for our fellow humans and also honoring our friend Judith Van Beek, who was a member here for quite a long time, we're knitting these dolls, which are donated to children by soldiers and doctors around the world, to children who are in traumatic situations. So if anybody, I'm gonna be here after potluck today. If anybody wants to learn to knit these simple dolls to add to our donation, please join us after potluck today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Sarah, did you want to light the chalice, please? Thank you. We light our chalice this morning with words from Pat Uribe Licht. We come from many places, along different paths, bringing different truths. We come with different histories, different realities, and yet we come together as one people, with faith that we can use our differences to heal ourselves and each other, to bring wholeness to a fractured world. We come seeking to find community, to find acceptance of who we are. In this place, we may find others who are much like us and others who are much different. May our lit chalice remind us that we are a people who are taught by different stories and many voices, but always one people, working for a world where love creates justice and justice gives birth to peace. Now it's time for our chime. We ring this chime as kind of a reminder to be in this place with the people who are right here. And the reason we need this reminder is because sometimes we have devices in our pockets that tell us to be with other people who are halfway around the world on Facebook. So now is the time when I'm asking everyone to put your phone in worship mode. All right. So if you can put your feet securely on the floor, settle into your chair. Close your eyes if you wish. We'll take a nice deep breath in. And exhale. And as you breathe in again, feel how you're rooted through the chair and through your feet to this place in time. And as you breathe out, you can think about the ways that what you're exhaling into the world is not just air, but is the way that other people see you and feel your energy. So when you breathe in the peace that you want to spread. When you breathe out the love for the world. Our opening words this morning are by Kim Mason. Once upon a time, chemists believed that they could transform lead into gold or death into life. We laugh, but are we not also in the business of alchemy, turning loneliness into connection, turning pain into comfort, turning anger into solidarity, and faith into action? The subtle magic of church combines love with justice, creates hope out of fear, and transforms individuals into community. Here we engage in a holy alchemy, finding beauty in the ordinary and life in the present. Come, let us be transformed together. And in the spirit of being together, we're going to sing hymn number 347. That's in your regular gray hymnal. Gather the Spirit. And now it is time for a story. So whether you're young in body or in spirit, you're welcome to join us at the front of the sanctuary.
Today's story is The Boy Who Watered the World. This is the boy who looks up at the sky. When all those around look away. He knows the answer to questions that no one has asked. He sees the colors when others see gray. I know what to do, he has said to himself, when the plants won't grow, when the leaves are dried and curled, and the flowers hang sadly like ribbons unfurled. This is the boy who watered the world. How does the water fall gently to earth? From my watering can, he replies. Filling with tears from a sorrowful face that looks on from the clouds in the skies. But with no one to love us, we wither and wait for a caring and compassionate child. There's our boy. with his can full of tonic and joy for a world that is softly beguiled. With water he nurtures and colors the earth and paints pictures of righteous joys. Of a life that is living, is growing and giving, with the gift of our watering boy. So when we are lonely and can't see ahead, when our tears are like raindrops of pearls, just remember the love of an innocent child. And he caringly waters the world.
So now is the time in our service where we pause for our morning offering. Kristen Collin reminds us that we give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and sacred space. And we give with the faith that together we have enough. Thank you so much for the morning offering, given with a spirit of generosity and received with gratitude and love. This morning's reading is from Erica Hewitt. She is actually a UUA religious coordinator, and she does a lot of readings. This one is from my favorite, Greater Wiser. She says, "This is what we do here." She starts with a quote, "The prayers of all good people are good." And that is the grandfather of Jim Burton in My Antonia by Willa Cather. She writes, "Worship was my first language. I began attending church in utero, and I still love going to church. It's a marvel to me. Would you look at us, I think to myself every Sunday. Despite all the other options, all of us chose to be together today. Everyone here needs something or knows that someone else needs something or both." On my last trip to New York, I attended worship at a well-known progressive Christian church. And despite being warmly welcomed over and over by the greeters, by the family sitting behind me, by the lead pastor, I still couldn't shake that guest feeling. The more I watched people exchange easy intimacies of friendship, the more I felt like an outsider. It didn't help, and it took me a long time to realize this, that I had unwittingly seated myself in the pews reserved for the children's choir. They didn't seem to mind, so I stayed put. Worship began. We sang and we prayed, and the children clattered up to the chancel and sang their hearts out as we rocked and clapped and sang along with them. And shortly after they settled back around me, the pastor invited the congregation to say the Lord's Prayer in any language or words that were meaningful to us. "Ever-loving and holy God, hallowed be your name. Your reign come." And I recited the prayer and closed my eyes until I felt someone's hand slip into mine. "Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our sins." This small brown hand had curled around mine. It belonged to an 11-year-old boy, the same child who, when I whispered "great job" to him after the choir's piece, had shyly looked at his shoes. But as the congregation prayed out loud together, all of us, I could now see holding hands across the sanctuary. He had confidently reached out for the hand of a stranger. That matter-of-fact gesture, I may not know you, but this is what we do here, was an announcement of belonging. It claimed me as part of something larger. After the congregation's unison amen, I continued my own silent prayer. I trusted that you were here, gentle one, moving within and among us. But thank you for showing yourself in the hand that reached out for mine. She closes with a prayer. She says, would you look at us, gentle one? Some of us are confident we belong to you and one another, and some of us feel lost. Help us find one another so that everyone knows that we all belong. Next, we have another hymn. It's 158, Praise the Source of Faith and Learning. And this is like a real change from the feeling of this last reading. And I had been thinking I might have chosen something different. We'll do this. So the last one, My Little Pony, Life Lessons from My Little Pony Community. I bet y'all are thinking, has it already been 6 months? Yes, it has. So the chalice lighting I chose today talked about alchemy. A long time ago, the study of chemistry and alchemy and magic were kind of interchangeable. Chemistry was magic. And when you really think about it, it's still kind of magical. If you try to eat sodium, I don't recommend it. The results would not be pretty. Sodium explodes when it hits water. Chlorine in small doses, like the amount in pool water or the amount we use to like make municipal water clean, well, that's fine. But large doses of chlorine can cause chemical burns on exposed skin. However, if you combine sodium and chlorine, you get table salt that gives chocolate chip cookies the right balance of flavor. There's magic in taking one thing and transmuting it to something else. I remember there was a Calvin and Hobbes comic strip about that. Calvin puts a slice of bread into a toaster and he presses the button and out comes toast. And Hobbes looks at him and said, "Yeah, but where did the bread go?" And then Calvin says, "Beats me, isn't that weird?" No, we know that there are people out there who can explain something to us, like where toast comes from. And if it uses rules and logic, we call it science. But really, the things we don't understand may as well be magic. There's a fantasy novel set that I read, it's urban fantasy, and it's set in a world where magic has risen up and overtaken technology. So the planes fall from the sky, the skyscrapers tumble down to the earth, and internal combustion engines don't combust anything anymore. And the laws of physics turn into like suggestions where, you know, if people believe hard enough that they're not true, well, then they're just not. But the phones still work. And one of the characters says to another character, like, you know, even in a magic wave, our phones still work. And the other character says, well, do you understand how your phone works? No, you don't. So that might as well be magic. There you have it. So today's service is about My Little Pony friendship is magic. And I'm sure that there's someone out there who can explain friendship in scientific and biological terms, but to the rest of us, may as well be magic. Now, for those of you who haven't been able to make it to a service on the third Sunday any time this year, I will say that My Little Pony was a long-running animated series created by Lauren Faust, where the main characters were female, they had different interests and strengths, and they were given high-stakes storylines. The success of My Little Pony proved that, contrary to the preconceived notions at the time, cartoons that were aimed at girls could be successful. The problem had not been with the intended audience, that is, girls, but with the boring, saccharine products being marketed to them. Provided that the stories were interesting and complex and the storytelling was not condescending, girls were delighted to engage with and support animated productions, including this one. And in fact, this one was so engaging and well done that it spawned an entire set of adults who love it, called Bronies. So this final service in the My Little Pony series focuses on Twilight Sparkle. Now she is a purple pony, and she's the main pony in My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. She's the one whose journey is being chronicled. Now, at the start of the series, she understands friendship about as well as Calvin understands how a toaster works, or how well I understand a smartphone. And with apologies to all of you who actually can explain to me the mechanisms behind how a cell phone works. To be fair, I'd rather you don't explain it to me, because in case there's a magic wave, I want this to work. So I chose the hymn Praise the Source of Faith and Learning in honor of Twilight Sparkle, because I really feel like she puts her faith in learning. At the beginning of the series, Twilight is the star pupil of the illustrious School for Gifted Unicorns. It's a school of magic in Equestria's capital of Canterlot. Now, she's been progressing very well in her studies and her training of magic, but she is focusing so much on studying that she's leaving out all the other parts of her life. And so her mentor, Princess Celestia, gives Twilight an assignment. She has to go to Ponyville, which is kind of backwater, and oversee the Summer Sun celebration. And while she's there, she has to give making friends a try. And I don't know, I'm an introvert, so like if somebody told me, no, you have to go out and make friends, I'd be like, really? So with some reservation, Twilight Sparkle and her sidekick Spike the dragon, they moved to Golden Oaks Library in Ponyville. Now Twilight loves books and loves learning and loves studying, and she's thrilled to be living in a library. I mean, how many of you would be like, yeah, I get to live in the library? And you know, she's fairly happy to take on the new project of like the Summer Sun celebration because she likes to organize things. And she likes to do a lot of deep dives into history, and the Summer Sun celebration has 1,000-year history, so that's pretty cool. However, she considers that second half of her mentor's mandate superfluous. She can't see why she would want to make friends when she's already got so many books. Now, the last question there, why would she want to make friends? That's the basis of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Why do we need friends? Well, Susan Krause-Whitborn, PhD writing for Psychology Today, in her article, 15 Reasons We Need Friends, says that there are many perks of friendship, including sharpening your mind, making you generally happier, knowing yourself better, becoming inspired to reach your goals, advancing in your career, helping you meet romantic partners, and living a longer and healthier life. And in Seven Science Fact Reasons Why Friends Are Important from the website scienceofpeople.com, Vanessa Van Edwards references scientific studies. She says, you know, physically, social connection is linked to lower blood pressure, lower BMI, less inflammation, and a reduced risk of diabetes across all age groups. And Van Edwards also writes about that Harvard study of adult development. She says, beginning in 1939, the Harvard study of adult development started collecting data on the lives of 268 Harvard graduates and 456 other people living in Boston. And for the last 80 years, researchers have accumulated data from physical examinations, medical histories, interviews, questionnaires, and their goal was to uncover what psychosocial variables and biological processes from earlier in life predict health and well-being later in life. And you know what they found? At the end of the day, the only factor that could correlate with happiness was the quality of human relationships. Close friendships, familial connections, marriages, all of that surpassed the other variables, surpassed social class, genetics, IQ, fame, fortune. It was the connections, it was the people. Now, the other basis of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is that Twilight learns to be a good friend, not just to have good friends, because you can't have good friends unless you are a good friend. The staff at the staff writers at the Mayo Clinic say how to be a good friend better than I can. They say to nurture your friendships, you should be kind. This is a pretty basic behavior that we all learned in kindergarten. You should be a good listener. So not just ask what's going on in your friends' lives, but actually pay attention and not just wait for your turn to say what's going on in your life. You open up. You actually talk about things that matter, because I know that I personally dread having conversations where it's just the weather, because yes, I can talk for 45 minutes about the weather, but how fun is that for anyone? So if you're actually talking about real stuff, that gets people closer together. You show that you can be trusted. You can be responsible, reliable, dependable, and try to do what you say you're going to do. You make yourself available. You make time for people. And that's one of the things that's really hard to do, especially in this fast-paced world that we have right now, where it seems like everything takes so much time, and the easy things, the easy ways to connect with people, they don't provide connection. Like, it's super easy to like something on Facebook, and then you're connecting with people, but not really connecting with people. So you have to make time to actually reach out and to have a conversation. And I know everyone says, oh, texting is way better than phone calls. Phone calls provide better connection, they say that. Sorry, everybody. They say, actually, Mayo Clinic even says this, you may feel awkward the first few times you talk to somebody on the phone, but this feeling is likely to pass as you get more comfortable. And then if you're someone who has nerves about reaching out to people or about connecting with people, they suggest mindfulness. They say you may find yourself imagining the worst social situations and you may feel tempted to stay home, but use mindfulness exercises to reshape your thinking. Each time you imagine the worst, pay attention to how often the embarrassing situations you're afraid of actually take place. You may notice that the scenarios you fear don't usually happen. Because I mean, how many times do you really go and, fall down the stairs and like spill your coffee everywhere? And it's not very frequent. Oh, it happens. But you know what? This is what you do when it happens, you're like, I'll be here all week. So that brings us to what we connected Twilight Sparkle with, which is Principle 6, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Now, I don't know how you all feel about community and friendship, but as I said, I personally find it a little bit hard. Like Erica Hewitt in today's reading, in most areas of my life, I can't shake that guest kind of feeling. And maybe you know how that feels as well. It's that feeling where you have to be on alert to make sure that you're doing the right things and saying the right things and looking like you feel the right things so that you can belong, so that people don't notice that you're different. Because we humans, we are experts at figuring out what doesn't belong. That used to be a song on Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the others. And they don't use that song as much anymore because they wanted to make sure that they're not fostering a divisive mindset around in children. But I was able to find like 4 or 5 videos within 4 seconds on YouTube that was like, there's 3 balloons and one of the balloons is shaped like a flower, or, and it's the little song in the background. But, being able to categorize is a really important skill. Like, we need that. We develop that on purpose as humans. For example, we need to be able to group cleaning products. In our head, we need to be able to separate the cleaning products out into types. Toothpaste, dental floss, mouthwash, those are safe to put in our mouths. Hand soap, dish soap, those are safe to touch, but don't eat them. Turpentine, ammonia, wear gloves, use a well-ventilated area. Do not ever touch them to your mouth. We group our clothes, bathing suits are for summertime and snow pants are for winter, unless you're one of those polar bear people who wants to jump in the middle of winter into an icy pond, in which case more power to you, but I'm keeping my bathing suits for summer. And we had to grow up, we had to develop as humans with this skill set of dividing things into groups. We had to be able to know plant A you eat, plant B is medicine, plant C will kill you. We had to be able to know animal A you eat, animal B is medicine. Well, nope, never. But animal C will definitely kill you. But we also tend to group our people. And our brains do it instinctively. I believe that I've mentioned this one time a long time ago. There was a study where children were told to wear a red shirt or blue shirt for a week. And no other things about red or blue shirts. It wasn't in the curriculum, it wasn't anything. It just, we're assigning you a red shirt or blue shirt this week. And then, on the last day, they said, which kids are nicer, red shirts or blue shirts? And, kids would just choose their own shirt. Like, it was completely random, but they divided themselves up just completely naturally. And at my daughter's school, they have field day. The whole school is separated into teams based on the school colors. And so they have like one color for one team and they have another color for the other team. They all wear the shirts. And the athletic director has to remind the school before everything starts that they have friends who are wearing the other color. So you have to be kind to the other color. Like, we are all school together. Because our brains are just that likely to make an in-group and an out-group. Like, have you ever heard somebody who's joking about, oh, I can't go to this sporting event wearing this cap because, that might be dangerous. And these are just arbitrary categories that we're sorting ourselves into. And what about the categories we define ourselves by? Like, I define myself as American, as female, as heterosexual, as middle class. But when someone else looks at me, they don't see those categories. Maybe the categories that they see right away are determined by the color of my skin or the shape of my body or the expression on my face. I have my own idea of what my categories are, but everyone else has their idea of what my categories are. And the way that I see the categories and other people see those categories may leave me feeling like I belong or like I don't belong. One of these things is not like the other. Well, in season 5, Twilight and her friends go to a mysterious village where all of the ponies have the same cutie mark. Now, a cutie mark, in case you have forgotten since last month, is this little mark on a pony's rear end that they develop when they're growing up, and it kind of shows what makes them special or unique, and it's like a talent that they have. Well, as it turns out, the lead pony in this mysterious village, Starlight Glimmer, she's taking away everybody's cutie marks because that she believes that for everyone to be equal, no one can be different. She's afraid that individuality is what causes ponies to be unable to get along with one another. And the ponies in the village, when the main 6 all come trotting up through the village, the ponies are all astounded. The main 6, who are all so different from each other and who all have different cutie marks, they can all be friends. And that they don't have this weird creepy smile. Like they gave these guys like the creepiest Stepford wife smile. Whoa. But you know, if even fictional ponies think that we can't get along with people outside our categories, I guess that goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all is a little precarious. Well, fear not, over the course of the episode, the ponies in the village learn that our differences are what make a vibrant and thriving community. Hiding what makes us special, hiding what makes us unique, hiding what makes us different, that doesn't make everyone the same. It just strips us of those gifts that we have to share the world. So eventually the townspeople and the main 6, they take back their individuality from Starlight Glimmer and they heal as a community. And they all, like there's one guy who learns how to surf again because he was a surfer pony, you know, in the middle of the countryside, because that makes total sense. But you know, Twilight Sparkle, a pony who, like me, is more comfortable with books than people, can learn about friendship and can form a community. Maybe there's still hope for me. Because each of those ponies in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic has a category that she falls into. There's the shy one, there's the sporty one, there's the down-to-earth one, the smart one, the pretty one, the fun one. But as the series progresses, we learn that each pony is more than just that first category that we see. And we learn that all of those things are not like the others. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that one of these things just doesn't belong. So we're humans. We like to make categories that show how things are differences. But differences can make things better. I mean, you need more than one ingredient to make chocolate chip cookies. And whether it's alchemy or whether it's science, the results are usually pretty sweet. So, our last song for today is We Would Be One. It's number 318 in the grade. is the time in our service where we share our joys and our sorrows. So if you remember one another, let's take a short moment now to reflect on our own joys and sorrows, whether they've been spoken here or whether they're held in our hearts. Now it's time to extinguish the chalice. You'll join me in reading our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this chalice flame not the light of wisdom, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts, and the hands until we are together again. I'd like to close today's service with the words of Adam Slate. We end our gathering with gratitude for camaraderie, shared wisdom, goodwill, and support that we extend to each other within this community. May we continue to bless each other with these gifts, and may we reflect those blessings back out into the world as we minister to those around us. Amen. Shalom, salam, blessed be you. Namaste. Yes. Now, please join me in listening to the postlude. Just a quick note, since you all have been so patient about listening to stories about My Little Pony, I wanted to give you a glimpse in their world. So this song that's going to come up in a minute is the song A True, True Friend. It is the final song in season 3 finale's episode, Magical Mystery Cure. That would work. Just some things.
Now, the audio channel, 15 minutes should be exactly. Did you get it? No, it's science.
Science are magic way. Sorry, everybody.
Go to the sound setting. There it is. It's up to sound. It's a- no, just- You might have something. YouTube is over on the other screen. You can see it. Keep it playing until we can. 73. Turn it up a little bit. Okay, we got sound on. Now go to YouTube. It's got to be YouTube's issue. Sound is turned off on YouTube. Click on that. Huh.
Is it tab in the browser? I could put it on my computer so you guys can hear it. Song fast.
It's weird. YouTube is not.
That's it. It is. That's good.
Change the speaker. I'll work on it. So.
The tab is The tab is muted.
Tab is muted?
Browser tab is muted.
Where?
Yeah.
There you go.
Am I on? I can see from here.
It was like right.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ready.
so what do I need to do? Oh, okay, let's redo this, we are all ready to hear the whole song. All right. Enjoy.
They'll be there to help them see a true friend has a friend in me. That shines from the through the cracks. Rarity needs your help. She's trying hard doing what she can. Would you try to give it a chance? You might find that you start to understand. What just happened? There's no time to explain, but we need your help. Applejack's trying to make dresses. Sing more. Applejack needs your help. She's trying hard to win what she can. Would you try, just give it a chance. You might find that you start to understand. Piggy's about to move the apple barn. We need Applejack's help. Move the apple barn. Slowly turn the investment account. The townspeople are furious. We need your baby guidance. Oh, I refuse to think. People need you every second. It's a friend who never seems to smile. And you have like you'll be appreciated. For your great My Little Pony, My Little Pony.
Thanks you guys for coming today. This one always makes me cry, but, okay, so it's time for everybody to go break and have some yummy treats, because I know there's a lot of good stuff in the kitchen.
Yeah, your chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
You put salt in.
I did.
Always. I just realized we can screw it. Is there anybody on the? Yes.
One thing I don't have is the right saw to use.
Yeah, well, it's still in the video. It's gonna be there's a feedback and